Hi Collective, welcome to the channel. I'm Crystal, a divine psychic medium here, delivering messages from the higher realms. So welcome everyone. Alright, so this is going to be a transmission to start for all my starseeds, lightworkers, earth angels, healers, right? Whoever is guided to this transmission, really. Because I've just been sitting in this energy. I've been taking into account a lot of things that have been going on in my world, in my life, right? And just trying to figure out a lot of things, right? And I feel it's going to be significant because I've been aligning with so many beautiful souls that are in alignment with my path, right? And that's what this is about. It's light workers, earth angels coming together, uniting, raising each other up, right? And creating these new realities, right? And I know that it's really important for us to put our personal experiences out there, right? Because that's often the true path of a healer, right? It's to heal yourself and lead the way for others, to show others how to heal, right? That's what us chosen ones are about, right? We hold the frequency of the light and we're here guiding others, right? So we go through a lot of these trials, tribulations, challenges, obstacles, trauma, all sorts of things, right? To be able to connect with people on those levels. So to show people, like, look, I healed. I made it through. You can do it too. For a lot of you, like, you're going through major upgrades and advancements at this time, right? They don't talk about a lot of that out in the collective, that this is very much happening, right? We are ascending and advancing on very rapid levels, right? So I'm getting upgraded levels of consciousness, right? Guys need to know that all of the training and everything, all of the trauma, everything that you've been through has been leading up to this moment. This year, the year of the dragon, where balance is being restored, where enough of the battling and the darkness, guiding the souls to the light. It's time that the scales tip, right? It has to do with the reset, the restructuring. You guys don't understand that, like, every planet has a end time. A time where it basically self-destructs or restarts, resets. It's what it is, right? This new beginning, the self-destruction of this planet, it reached its maximum level already. And I know some would say that, no, we haven't blown everything up, because we're not playing out the end times of the end times of the Bibles, the prophecies, as it's stated in the Bible. Well, really, if you look around, you would appear that a lot of those things very much were already happening, right? But what I'm getting at is the final day of last year of 23 was 123, 123. That was the start of the commence of the new beginning. It's like enough is enough. As for us light workers, earth angels, starseeds, we are uniting, we're coming together. All we had to do was hold the frequency. 144,000 is a frequency, right? All we needed is 144,000 to hold that frequency, to activate this new beginning, this higher level of consciousness, anchoring this love and light, and this is the reset. It has been ongoing. Now there's far more now than 144,000, as we're lighting up all of those that are around us and we're activating on such levels. But there are 144,000 that are the new leaders into the new world order. But there's far more chosen, right? As everybody can very much be a chosen one, right? Once activating to Christ consciousness, being a beacon of light, of unity, of coming together, because we all are one. We are, right? So these mass awakenings are happening, right? The ones that are not at that frequency, they're the one we're going to be rising above and leaving those behind, which is going to amplify. It's like things are going to be catapulted, right, as justice is served, but there is always time for soul recovery. But our jobs of the light working, of the showing, of the teaching, of the transmuting is done. It's over, because it's time for our next path, next mission, it's the leveling up, right? So we do build this new foundation on the level of destruction, right? And You know, there will be some that will not ascend through the destruction, that don't want to do the healing, and they're just going to be the base, right? But the most important thing is that you don't worry about that, because I'm one where I don't like to leave any souls behind. So, you know, it's easier for me just to love from afar, right? And just to always send the love that way, right? Because we need to know that it's like a fallen, you know, leaving behind a fallen angel, leaving behind, you know, a piece, a part of you. That's the one thing I don't like, right? About it's beautiful how we have so many people in the spiritual community that are amping people up. They're teaching everybody to have these boundaries, right? To like narcissists. Like, oh my gosh, I cannot stand narcissists. Like, just the name, the label of it. It should be something like, it should be labeled something with trauma, because that person, to be a narcissist like that, went through a immense amount of trauma, which put them in a way where they needed to be in a certain way to protect their inner child, that they created this ego around them, and it's all about self, because it's like, nobody's gonna hurt me again. And I know hurt people go and hurt people, but hurt people need the most amount of love. But then we demonize them, and that's often what builds a narcissist too, is, you know, they go down, and it's like they keep getting shown that bad, destructive behavior. It makes them want to be that way. Then they're getting attention for it, and then it's just building this big monster, right? It's like they're showing me like Cindy Lou Who, right? To me, that's what his chosen ones are like, right? From the Grinch. And now look at the Grinch, you know, she still was showing him love, and so did the whole town still came together, even though the Grinch was stealing all their material things, all of that, trying to steal the spirit of Christmas. In the end, they still invited the Grinch and all of that, and his heart grew and things like that. There is always time for soul recovery, but it takes healing, and people have to see that healing, right? People have to know to forgive themselves for everything. You know, we're all a balance of light and dark, just like they demonize the devil. Yes, just give me a minute to explain this, right? The devil, all the demons, all the darkness and all that. But you don't understand, you wouldn't have light without dark. Devil is kind of like karmic justice. It's walking karma. It's just like the devil in the tarot, right? You know, some readers will use it as, you know, an obsession. A little bit of healthy selfishness is okay, right? As long as you have it in balance and moderation. It's what keeps you in point, right? When you come across somebody that mirrors or shows you a behavior you don't like, right? It causes you see someone that has selfish envy, you know, is it mirroring something you're doing? Because normally what you come in alignment with is your mirror. You mirror, it's a mirrored reality. But you have that duality, the light, the dark, the yin, yang. That's what makes us all, right? So it's like, you know, most people, just like with the wheel, the highs, the lows, as within, so without, everything is about duality. And everybody goes through the darkness, the light, the, you know, I mean, yes, there's a lot of healing, you know, like some of you get caught up too much, if there was traumas, into envy, right? Just like if you grew up in poverty, right? You automatically are just in that jealous envy mindset, most of us, because you get conditioned that way, because it's hard to see others have everything and you don't, you know, like why, like I remember seeing, just like, I was very jealous of my friends growing up. Not the things that they had, but the family. You know, the holidays, everything, you know, like their families getting together, all the love and support, because I was very isolated a lot as a child, right? My parents were both like black sheep for their families, and there was not very interaction with family. We were moved far away, and all I had was a half brother that I only lived with half my life. Two other half brothers, one I've never even met, right? And the other, you know, spent most of his life away from me or whatever. So like, it's it's unfortunate, those traumas, those wounds, like you never know why people get that way, right? Like I know that it built a shadow side around me, and I had to tear those walls down. I got very much in my, I used to say I was a shadow worker, right? Until I became a light worker, until I started to heal those shadows, right? Like I was narcissistic too, growing up with narcissistic parents, and I'm an angel and a light worker, but I had to come out of the shadows, right? I had to heal myself. I had to heal the trauma, right? I had to go through those things and those balance, right? And it's like for a while I've been, well, am I a light worker, like earth angel, or am I like a dark angel for the devil, like for the demonic forces, right? And then I was getting guided to the Persephone, right? And I was getting guided to Black Moon Lilith, and looking a lot at those darker aspects, and darkness is can be so beautiful if how you look at it, right? To see like a mother defending her child, having that strength and courage to make sure that her child's not going to be hurt and things like that, and like you have to have that strength and courage to protect yourself, but it's about having that balance, knowing how to release it, knowing how to project it when need be, right? It's just like me being, when I was coming out of the shadow side, right, and I was working a lot on my light, and I was like, I'm going to keep my vibration as high as possible. Then I started to lose my children, and my children started to take advantage of me, walk all over me as a mom, because they were like, oh, mom's not gonna, she doesn't want to raise her voice, she doesn't want to yell at us, she doesn't, like, I would ground them, like I would take away something, right? And then I remember I'd be like, well, you're going to get punished later, I'm not going to, but it was like I wasn't strong enough, and they took advantage of it, and then it was like, oh my gosh, my children were turning into these very narcissistic little beings, right? They covered it up with trauma, but they were being very selfish, very, going down that path like their fathers and stuff, right? Because then they started to go more towards that for attention, because then I was trying to walk away, show them I'm upset, like it wasn't working, right? It's very tough being a parent, trying to find different ways, especially when I grew up not getting the support and seeing healthy environment. Like I didn't know what a healthy relationship was. Like I didn't even know how to show love because I wasn't shown love, right? Like I don't know how to approach people a lot of the times because I spend so much time in isolation alone that I, because it was like I would be like grounded, put on restrictions for weeks at a time, have to stay in my room. My parents were always gone. They ate out dinner every night, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They'd eat out together, work. They were gone all week. It was always like food was in the freezer or in the pantry, go heat it up, whatever. And then my brother was always gone, and he'd actually pay me money and offer me things to not tell my parents that he was gone, right? Because he was supposed to be there with me when I was younger, and he wasn't. So I was left alone a lot, right? And but it actually had me, I basically got raised by spirit, right? So I was never alone, right? But so that's why I spend most of my time with spirit. Like I was raised by the gods and by spirit, and you're never alone, even though it could feel that way. And in my adult life, like I've had a lot of people take advantage of that because they see in the physical, like, oh, like she isolates a lot, she's not very social, all of that. Like I'm putting my story out there because for a lot of you, like that's what happens. Like you may, even those times that you feel like you're alone, you're really not, because spirit sees that, and that's when they come in, right? For a lot of you, you have a whole family team that walks with you, that protects you, that guides you, that is helping you, right? And so anyway, like, wow, a lot's coming out in this reading. So a lot of the woundings, like I got so much of my masculine energy to protect myself, and then it was like, then it went to severe polar opposite. Like I started to realize it, like, wow, like because I was losing relationships, pushing people away, all sorts of stuff. I was like, and I didn't know how to show love, receive love. Then I had all these insecurities, betrayal, abandonment that I had to heal. I had trauma. I ended up trauma bonding into relationships, with those codependencies, with abuse, all sorts of stuff, because it was what I knew, right? So, and it was like, even though like my parents were never there, like my dad always tried to buy my love, you know, let me buy gifts, let me throw money at her, you know, show her love this way. So then it was like, I thought that that was a way of love, right? So then I went always trying to buy, showing people love through gifts, through buying things, because it was what I thought is how you show love. And like to this day, I still struggle with knowing how to just, I mean, when my kids are little, it's easy because, you know, taking care of them, I can grab them, hug them, kiss them. But once they get big enough and they're like, all right, mom, quit. Then it's like the only hugs and kiss I can show is like, all right, it's bedtime. Let me give you a hug and kiss good night. But other than that, like I still struggle with not knowing how to open up and all that stuff. And those are things that I'm still working on, right? Being starseeded too does not help it. And being, you know, a super empath, a Heoke empath, right? It's just, I just chose to go down my dedicated path of enlightenment, healing, working with the angels, right? So for some of you, like this black sheep that you feel, like it's because you were different, and maybe that's why like you were left out too. Some of it, like your family didn't know how to interact with you because you were so different. They felt you were different. They didn't know how to show you these things. And I feel that I'm going to be connecting with a lot of people that have been black sheeped, or just you feel better in isolation because, you know, then you're not absorbing those energies, right? Like I found like I have to protect myself. Like I'm too much, right? It's like anytime I go anywhere, everybody's got to tell me their stories, their situations, what's going on. And it's like, I know that they need my healing energy, right? But me trying to heal the trauma that I had, I wasn't having any time for myself, and trying to raise my 4 children that were instilled with the same traumas that I had, because I wasn't healed when I was making them, right? And when you're growing a child in you, they're getting any of the trauma that is going on around you, and they're inheriting the trauma within the bloodlines, their fathers that you're having to heal. And because I trauma bonded, my children, you know, have a lot of trauma, so it's been a lot on me, right? And that's why I'm needing to like give myself more credit for what I've been trying to build and how long it's been taking, because it's like, gosh, like I've been trying to build a business for, I was sitting with Source, I'm like, how long have I really been doing this? How long have I really been light working all of this? And they told me, all your life. Because then I realized that, yeah, you know, at first it started with my family, my friends. I was always like the mother trying to heal things, fix things, right? But anyway, like I've been trying to build my business for 7 years while being, you know, because I was like, I have to get out of the workplace, because for a while, like I was working 3 jobs and raising my kids, right? And like it was hard for a while. Like when I had my first daughter, like I didn't have anybody I could really trust her with, so I used to work overnights. Just because then I figured the person I was leaving her with, right, she was safe while she was sleeping, and then I would stay up all day taking care of her and just only nap when she napped while working. Like I've had a very, you know, challenging time trying to figure out how to raise children, how to start a business, how to heal myself, all of this. I know it's all leading up to 1818 on the clock, as they say that. I know that this is all leading up to everything. I mean, I know I can't fit my whole life in this, but whatever they're guiding me to talk about here. But it's like I always pull on all the experiences and the things that I've went through, because I realize I align with a lot of people that have been going through those situations and been able to help them overcome abuse and all that. But I guess they're bringing me back to the narcissist thing. Like you need, like, I don't demonize the people that I've been with. I used to, right? But I don't anymore, because I realized they were just people that were broken and had trauma just like me. And that's why I align with them. And just because I then seen it, learned from it, healed myself, got away, made those changes, set up those boundaries, walked away from those people, you know, I know that they have their own healing path to do as well. But see, that's why you don't demonize people, right? Or talk ill upon them or things like that, because they need the most amount of love, actually. And it was really a piece of you is why you align with them anyway. So it's kind of like putting yourself down in a way, right? So anyways, like, we're really starting to merge and getting out of this black and white thinking, getting out of this good angel, dark angel, because really we're both, right? And, we're going to be seeing more of that, right? It's such a beautiful thing. Like, just like me being a Hey-OK empath, like, I battle demons all the time, but I take them on first because I can do that because I know that I can release them with love, and it has to do with the healing. And when need to be, I mirror back to people what they're showing me because it's like I know it's what taught me what I needed. So it's like now I've been having a lot of fun with it, in fact. Because it's like I've been in both polar opposites. Like, I've been through the darkness, I've been through the light, then I reached this balance, right? And I realized all the things that were coming at me, it was even more training, and it reached this intense moment where it was like, oh my gosh, like, all right, you're gonna keep setting more and more and more, all right, well, I gotta work harder at transmuting this. And I was getting to where, like, so much was going on within my mind. I was feeling different parts activating. So for some of you, when you're going through an immense amount of, like, and I got earlier, intense training, like, it's activating these major levels, right? But it's like now those things don't trigger the part. So if you're not understanding what I'm talking about, you're not there yet, don't worry. It may make sense to you later, right? For some of you. Now I've glitched my camera. All right, so it's like, but now I could be more at a calm state, and I could have multiple entities come to me at the same time. I don't know what it is. Like, intense training. This is, it has to do, okay, I don't even know where I'm at anymore. But we're getting like, okay, so all I know is that, like, I'm on this very upgraded pathway of ascension, of teaching, of healing, right? And I know that it's like I've opened up Pandora's box, right? And I get why a lot of people now create that ego, right? And stuff. And it's like, not everybody can do this too. Once you start to go down these levels of accelerated ascension and awareness and expansion, like, you can't stop. It's like once you know, you can't unknow. And it's like, now that I'm starting to find the workings of everything, it's like, it's just wanting me to learn more and more and more. Like, I can't stop it. I can't stop this accelerated ascension timeline that I'm on. So it's like I'm outgrowing everybody and experiences. And it's like, I find that I can't even just, like, sit and calm down and, like, be how I was before. Like, watching a movie with family, it's extremely difficult for me when it's something that's not very engaging. Like, I have to find a way. I really need to find a way to find peace and calm. I don't know if it's because things are coming in so fast, if it's just like everything's flooding in and it's gonna slow down. This is where I'm reaching out to other chosen ones, like, if you've experienced this accelerate, like, how do you slow it down to calm down? Because it's like, I know a lot of the things in my atmosphere, my space, my lifestyle, maybe it's a little bit of me calming down the survivor, like, lifestyle I've been living, but they've had me complacent for a reason. Like, I've been at the same place, like, almost a year, right? And I always know there's everything for a reason, right? And all the experiences and the situations and the healing, everything that they've brought to me, like, geographical location is very significant too. For some of you, if you're feeling guided to move, you're feeling guided to a certain place, there's a reason for it. Right? Sometimes you just need to ask divine to guide you. That's what I did for here. As I was moving around and I wasn't finding places that I could calm down. And this was a place where I realized that, I did calm down for a little while. But then it's like, now I'm on this accelerated, like, it's fun. it, don't get me wrong, like, I love it, but it's like, I guess it's the Cancer in me, like, I don't like to let go of people, right? It's hard to let go of people, but it's like when people aren't on the level that I'm at, I can only entertain them for so long. So I spend a lot of time in other realms, and I really want to come out of like the isolation. Like, I'm trying to integrate more. There's definitely needs to be a coming together more, and that's what I feel like is happening. Like the next stage, like the chosen, light workers, earth angels, all of that are uniting, coming together more in the physical. Because maybe a lot of you are feeling this way too. It's like you came out, it's like coming out of the closet, right? And it's like, or coming out, like, and it's like you can't go back in. I find it hard to find people to talk to because they're not on my level of understanding. I don't know. This is all significant. I'm putting this out there because whoever's going to come in alignment, like, you're feeling this too, and know that it's okay. What I'm getting here is you're right in between a shift. It's like, you know how things, confirmation, right? You know how things like change internally and then they get out physically? It's like, I really feel like major changes are coming. Like, your physical reality is about to blend, but you're in this transition state. Maybe it's part of the process. Like, you need to see, like, wow, yeah, I've outgrown, like, all of this, like I'm above this, right? Like, working yesterday, it's like realizing that, like, you were keeping yourself in a dungeon, right? And maybe it's because, like, you needed that for healing, but now you're realizing you don't, and you need out. I don't know. All right, I'm almost at 30 minutes just with this. I know I wanted to come on here about, like, not demonizing the light, the dark, and I've been thinking a lot, like, being chosen ones, the different frequencies they pull in, like, right? Like, I know I've been pulling the Mary Magdalene frequency, and Lilith, and I'm like, well, is Magdalene and Lilith the same? Am I embodying both of those energies to balance out? Is this part of the next stage? Who am I? What am I? Figuring out a lot of things. All the powerful beings from the very beginning are here in the end, or here in the new beginning, the reset, I should say. I'm going to say that. Some of you is all part of a purpose, right? Because it's interesting, as I was saying, like, because if it's just like finding out, like, how she was, like, she embodied all those demons, and then she went through the sevens, and there's something about, like, seven. I'm talking about the series of sevens, and, like, 7 deaths, rebirths, 7 deadly sins, 7 demons casted out, like, and they demonized Lilith a lot when really she was kind of pushed to go down the dark path, but she found beauty and love in it. So I'm picking up both of these frequencies. All I know, I just hit myself. All I know is that this is a very, very powerful frequency and timeline that I'm on, and whoever can build off of this and give you some more enlightenment in your readings, I would love to find out more of what you got. All right, what your experience. I guess I'm encouraging more light workers and chosen ones. Let me know. Let the world, whatever creative talent outlet you have, share your stories, right? Like, your stories behind your business, right? Like, this, like, I love hearing the stories and what people, like, I know I'm gonna look back to, like, I set up shop everywhere I went, right? Like, I never gave up, like, setting up my sacred space where I could connect with the divine, right? And it's like, I know that, like, I put together all this content and everything, right? And I know that I reach, because of the frequency I'm on, I know I reach who I'm meant to reach, right? For the longest time, I didn't see it, though, because I was looking for it. I was looking for the validation. But then once I just started to let it come to me, I started to realize, like, oh my gosh, yes. It's such a beautiful thing. I love it so much. I love that we're coming together. And I think a lot of it's like, there was just so much. Like, we had the frequency, right? it's all part of the reset in the plan. It's like we were strategically organized, right, and placed apart. And I don't know, like, if it was meant for us to align at a certain time and come together, if we were like blocked, and then it had to do with the frequency, the levels as we ascended and started to find each other. I don't know. I'm looking more into like the timing, maybe the planetary alignments, the different levels, but there's something major with the year of an 8, balance, justice, restoring. A lot of just sacred unions are coming together so much. They keep showing me a chessboard, like all, but like where the pieces are moving and we're not moving them. It's like divine source. It's like a game. It's a very strategic game. There was a very strategic plan, right? And I remember saying, like, it was almost 3 years ago, I was like, the light workers need to unite. This is too much. I'm too alone. I can't, like, 3 years ago, I couldn't find anybody that was like me, right? But I was so much surrounded by darkness, right? So it was something to do with that. But we're uniting, we're coming together, and the world's about to see that. I know that. I feel it. That's what I had for you. This is this transmission. If you don't understand it, don't worry about it. It's not for you. It's not for everyone. Whoever this is meant for will find it, though. I know that. Love and light to all of you.